All right, so we've got a new toy. I hinted at it actually a little bit earlier today on my social media, but now it's here. Got the box, a little large. I can't really fit it in the entire frame, but I'm going to open it up and show you what I've got. I haven't told you what I've got. Some people know what it is, but not everyone. So I'm going to open this thing up. We're going to do an unboxing and a review of what I've picked up here and why it's important to me and why it might be important to other people and why not important to you. Really doesn't matter. I spent the money. But yeah, so let's get started. As you can see from the box, it's basic recycled cardboard. Nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy. Can expose you to chemicals. This product can expose you to chemicals. Warning. Horrible. Yeah. So, unassuming box. No markings of any kind on it. So, let's open this side up. I think. So, let's take a look, see what we've got in the box here. Oh, nothing else? Well, to a discerning eye, this might look suspiciously like a certain kind of object. So if you know what it is, you probably have already figured it out now. Now this is the giveaway. So this is from Springfield Armory in since 1794. They're out of Illinois. They are one of the oldest gun manufacturers out there, one of the best known. Not the best, but one of the best. So that is exactly what's in here, is a gun. A rifle to be exact. Before we get inside, just want to review the case here. This came with it. It's a brand new rifle. It's actually a Saint, which is their sporting rifle. It's an AR platform in it, but in today's world, AR, people think it means assault rifle. It doesn't. It's Armalite. This is not an Armalite. This is a Springfield, but it's modeled after the M4 style, style looking weapon. So on the outside, it's a nice canvas bag, handle, zipper, 2 pockets up here for 2 magazines. Open up the first pocket. Comes with a Magpul PMag 30 AR-M4, 30 round magazine. It's even got a little beautiful. Meant to do that. So it's got even got a clip. Even got a lock for the top of it. Typical for 5.56. Military NATO round. Gen M3. So good Magpul magazine there. 30 round capacity. Standard with the rifle, if I remember correctly. Actually bought this from a local dealer here in Miami, Johnson Firearms. They're not sponsoring this. Springfield Armory's not sponsoring this at all. Springfield's kind of sponsoring it. They gave me the rifle in exchange for this thing called money, and a lot of it. So, kind of a sponsorship, I guess. But yeah, so we have that 30 round magazine. In this one, we actually have a lock, so I can lock the rifle. I'll show you. I might show you how to use this. How you would actually use this with an AR to make sure that it can't be used. But so that's the case. That's the exterior. Let's open her up. See what it looks like on the inside. So the case itself actually has a lock as well. Right here, you can lock it through there, like so. Lock the case if you want to, but it's a canvas case. You really don't need to lock it because if they really want it, just cut it open. But it's good to have it in the case when you're carrying it out. So There we go. So this is it. It is the Saint from Springfield Armory. First impressions, it's a good, nice, solid layout. Beautiful packaging, you know, the way they set it up in here. I actually didn't buy it in the case. It was on the shelf. They'd taken it out for display. Bought the display model because right now, if you can get your hands on something, you get your hands on it. So, actually, a little envelope from Saint. From Springfield. Comes with all the warnings. Warranty activation, which I will be doing and adding to this video, where it's the letter you can mail in the warranty, and then the operation and safety manual. This is very important. Always keep this. Anytime you're firing a weapon, you need to know the operation and the safety protocols for it. Warning, you risk injury or death by mishandling this firearm. That goes with every firearm. If you mishandle it, you're risking not only other people's lives, your own life. It's stupid. Don't do it. Learn how to use it before you use it. I'm former military, as you probably know, so I have experience with this type of platform with the M16. Not this specific gun. This is, you know, the first time I've ever owned this specific gun. This is actually the first time I've ever purchased a rifle myself. My dad had many rifles in the house that he had purchased himself. You know, so I've been around guns all my life, so I know how to use them. But this was my first purchase of a rifle, of any firearm actually. So it's kind of a little different for me. But we have all this nice, neat little packaging. You know, definitely want the warranty on here. I wonder if I can do that online. That's what I'd like to do. So I'll set that off to the side. So it's actually got straps in here so that it's not slipping and sliding around as you're carrying it, or maybe driving with it, or whatever you might be doing. Nice clean profile. Brand new. Never been fired. Not going to be fired for a while because you can't get your hands on ammunition right now. Not in Miami. Not anywhere really. So it's nice clean lines. You know, stock, can collapse all the way out. It has I guess you could say 1, 2, 3 points to mount a sling to it. It has the sights ready. Release them. So your sights. So unlike many modern AR platforms, which come with the rails to mount sights, but no sights themselves, this one actually does come with some iron sights, ready to go, ready to use. It does have a little bit of oil on it, but that's okay. That can be overcome. Would be nice to get this, if I had the ammunition, to get it sighted, to get it ranged in. So it's a nice clean design. It's of course 5.56 NATO rounds. It is cleared, chamber's cleared. It does have a little oil residue in it, but it's clean. Take a look, see down the barrel. Can't see anything. Get some light in there, maybe. Oh. It's nothing. That's weird. Not being able to see down the barrel, not used to that. The flash guard is a little different than the M16s that I fired in the Army. Muzzle brake, whatever you want to call it. It's got M-lock all the way down the barrel so that you can put all your accessories on, all your M-lock accessories. Get that down. How does that come off? I'm guessing. like so. So, very pretty, very good size. Can't wait to get some accessories on it. Some actual, actually got a foregrip for it. Ooh, that wasn't locked in. There we go. Now it's locked in. Brings back memories holding one of these. It's actually pretty light, considering. Not too bad. I would release the bolt, but I've got sleeping children, so we're going to release it. Yep. Let's open her up. Not bad. Look at that. Pretty clean. Should be. It's never been fired, so it should be clean. Let's take a look at the bolt. So it's got Springfield Armory's logo, actually stenciled in here, etched in. Is that etched or printed? I think it's etched. Got that gun oil smell to it. Brings me back to the days of breaking down my M16 constantly to keep it clean. Let's try looking down the barrel now. Much better. Nice, good rifling, very clean. For those of you who don't know, in the military we aren't given brand new rifles, and so to get your barrel this clean in the military would be very, very difficult. So I've never seen one brand new. Every one I've ever held with the military had been used. Ooh, nice firm springs on that. Patent pending. So yeah, it's overall a beautiful gun. Looking forward to getting some ammunition, taking it out to the range, testing it out, getting my feel for the recoil and everything, getting a good comfortable position on the stock here, because I don't think I want it fully extended. Not really, because I'm going to have a foregrip here. But yeah, so like I said, the reason I wanted to get this is, number one, because I don't have a gun right now. Shows that there's nothing done in the barrel. There's no round chambered, is the correct term. So I'm not gonna. So the reason I bought this particular weapon, well, let's start with the reason I bought a weapon. It is a St. Victor, which is what I thought it was when I purchased it. But then I got home and went, wait, was it? It is St. Victor, 16-inch. So the reason why I wanted to get this, maybe simple enough. Defense. The world we live in is full of people who would do me harm, do my family harm, and have no intention of respecting our rights, respecting our private property, respecting our lives, or just anything in general. So I wanted a weapon that could easily defend my family, myself, innocent people, that I could pick up, easy to use, know it's going to work. That was the goal, was to have a weapon that I knew would work when I picked it up. Something that would remind me of the M16s that I held in the Army. And that's why I wanted an AR platform. So the AR platform, that's the specific reason why I'm going with that. However, this specific one, I didn't actually come in wanting to buy a Springfield. I'd looked at Springfields, really good. I know the Springfield name, know the history, I know a little bit of the history. I'm not going to say I know everything about their history, but do know a little bit of the history. And the truth of the matter is, it's a good brand. It has a good reputation. I know Smith & Wesson is a huge brand out there, Smith & Wesson firearms, but Smith & Wesson has, from what I've found in my research and my study of the gun industry in general, is that Smith & Wesson has become the cheaper brand, has become the low-end brand. They still make high-end, good quality firearms, but not all of them. Not all the Smith & Wessons are good quality firearms. So I wanted to stick in a lane, in a brand that would be good, that would be reliable, had the reputation to back it up, had maintained that reputation for a long time. And when I went to the store, again, Johnson Firearms here in Miami, I found this one on display, and I was like, oh my gosh, they've actually got a Springfield in stock. Right now, it's very hard to find rifles like this in stock, especially one chambered M556. That's it's in demand. It's very hard to find. That's backwards. Done. And so the simple fact that they had a Springfield, even though it was a little bit outside of my budget where I wanted to be with a rifle, I was like, it's a Springfield. I know it's going to work. It's going to do what I need it to do. One company I was also looking at, but was another one out of my price range, was Bravo Manufacturing Company. If I could have got my hands on a Colt, I would have been so happy with that. A Colt would have just made my day. But Springfield, nothing wrong with this brand, with this rifle. I'm looking forward to getting it out there, getting it dirty, getting it tested, getting it sighted to me. That was one thing that actually disappointed me about my military training, was actually how little time we actually spent firing our weapons. In my military training, I was trained at Fort Jackson, which in the military has a nickname as Relaxin' Jackson. It's where most of the MOSs that are not combat related, not infantry, go to train. And so my MOS, which was logistics, supply, we weren't trained in the infantry style, and so we did not get the training that infantry got. And so we had a lot. I struggled on the firing range, actually, on the qualifying range. I struggled. Other areas of firing, like run, fire, and shoot, where we actually had to move and shoot, red dot firing, that the larger machine gun testing, did pretty good there. But as far as actually qualifying, laying down with the rifle and actually firing with it, didn't do as well as I wanted to. But I also did not fire as many rounds as what a typical infantry person would. So one thing I want to do with this is get out there and fire it, because the reason why I bought this particular rifle is the more you use it, the more comfortable you become with it. And it's easy to use. That's the reason why an AR is so popular. It's not because of its killing capacity, although it is a very deadly instrument. The way its rounds work, the way these weapons are designed, they are killing machines. They were designed to kill human beings. That is their purpose. They are not hunting rifles. Now you could use them perhaps for wild boar, wild pigs, wild hogs, however you want to call it, but they're not designed for that. They are designed to take down a human being, take them down effectively, and to stop them. And that's what they do. But they're very easy to use. And so the reason why I wanted an AR platform like this is because if I'm not home and someone breaks in and my wife and children are here, I wanted a weapon that my wife could pick up and defend herself with, and not have to worry that she's not going to be able to be effective with her defense. And that's why this one makes so much sense, is because the recoil on an AR or anything that resembles the M16, which is what the AR is a civilian version of the M16 or the civilian version of the M4, which is the more modern version. Most ARs nowadays actually take after the M4, not the M16, just in style, just in stylistics, even though the M4 and AR are very, very, very similar. But they don't have a lot of recoil to them. They don't kick your shoulder back. My dad had a SKS, which is a Russian rifle, so very similar to the AK-47. Fired the same round as the AK-47, the 7.62 round, and that rifle would kick you. I mean, it was like getting kicked in the chest by a mule. So if you're not prepared for it, you can't accurately fire that thing more than once. I tried explaining to someone actually today when I was explaining to somebody that when you fire a pistol, especially a large caliber pistol, 9mm are included in this. You're firing a hefty pistol, and you're not used to firing. You're in a high stress situation. Your first shot is your only shot, because that first shot is going to knock your aim off. And if you don't hit them, they can close the gap before you can regain your aim. An AR-15, such as this, you don't have to worry about that as much, because the kick is not going to knock you off your aim. You're going to maintain your target picture a little bit better, not perfectly. It's going to kick. Every rifle kicks, but it doesn't kick as hard as a pistol does. And because of the way it's designed to be tucked in real tight, nice and close to your shoulder, so that your body can absorb that hit. You can maintain your sight and get a few more rounds on this person that's doing you harm or risking or putting your family at risk than you would with maybe a pistol when you're inexperienced. If you're an experienced firearms person or wielder, yeah, pistol's great. But if you're not, an AR is much better, because you can put, out of your 30 rounds, if you can get half of them into the person that's threatening you, you're definitely going to stop them. The rounds are going to hurt them. The rounds are going to do what they were designed to do, and the weapon is going to work for you. I actually saw a documentary on the history of guns. This was many years ago. My dad and I were watching this on the History Channel. They had a documentarian on there. One of their experts in the field said, if you want to raise an army, you buy AK-47s. But if you want to kill a person, you buy an M16. The AR-15 is based on the M16. It is designed to defend yourself. That is what I bought it for, is to defend me, my family, my nation if needed. Should they call upon me to do that, that's what it's here for. That's what the Second Amendment stood for. It is not about hunting. The Second Amendment has nothing to do with hunting. The Second Amendment is a free state. I'm trying to remember. I knew it by heart at one point. A well-regulated militia being necessary for the safety and security of a free state, the right of the people to bear arms shall not be infringed. I believe that's pretty close to what it says. A free state, a free nation, a free country, free people need to be able to defend themselves with weapons that can actually stop an enemy, whoever the enemy is. And that's what this is for. It's a defensive weapon. That's how it was meant to be used. That's how it was designed to be used. Yes, you can use it offensively, and it can be an effective offensive weapon. However, that's not what you should be using it for if you're purchasing it. You need to purchase it as a defensive tool. That was the other thing. I wanted to show you how to lock that. But that's what it's for. That's why we want it. That's why it's so popular, is the defensive capabilities. The ease of use of this makes it easy for us to hand it to somebody who doesn't know what they're doing, but they can defend themselves. You point this end at the bad guy, pull the trigger, the gun does the rest. Now, I'll go ahead and put the magazine in too, so you can see that, because it looks so much better with the magazine in it. It's got the floating upper receiver, or the floating upper. Sorry, I'm not up on my lingo. I know the lingo when I read it. I've researched it. However, I have not memorized it all, so I don't remember all that. Now, trying to be quiet. So the lock does have Springfield Armory etched on it. It's not a strong lock, but it is a lock nonetheless. Okay, locked it. Slide that through there. It's locked, so can't use it per se. The bolt is not going to be able to engage. You're not going to be able to put a magazine in. The weapon is locked. Now, at the same time, again, just like the bag, you can lock it, but some simple bolt cutters can cut right through it. So it's good in principle. The best principle is to know where your weapon is at all times. That is what the military preaches. The Army is very strict about weapon discipline like that. In the Army, in basic training, if you don't know anybody who's been there, you're given a weapon. You're given a rifle. It's not a gun, okay? Just so you know, we don't play with guns. We have weapons, rifles, okay? So you're given a rifle. And that rifle is to stay with you at all times. Or it is to be locked away or left with someone who you trust and you have entrusted them with it because you cannot take it with you. Such as in certain buildings, someone must stand outside and guard your weapon as you go into your business. Then they come in, also fire. That's important. So you never left your weapon unattended. You always knew where it was at all times. Why? Because if you lost that weapon, you lost your ability to defend yourself and defend your comrades and execute your mission. In real life. In civilian life, because it's all real. In civilian life, this is just as important, and that if you don't know where your weapon is, you're not absolutely certain of where it is, how can you be sure it's not being used improperly? You don't even know where it is. So that's the best safety for any weapon, is to always know where your weapon is. Always know what it's doing. Never leave it loaded. My dad had a loaded rifle by the door to protect our family because we had some issue with people coming out to our house that didn't belong there and were making threats. So he made sure there was a loaded rifle by the door. But other than that, and during that time frame, which was only about 2 years, the ammo and the rifles were kept separately. Now, they were kept in the same general room, but they were not kept in the same exact spot. So unless you were part of the family and knew exactly what to look for, you didn't know where the ammo was. The family did, but if someone came into the house who didn't belong there, they wouldn't know what the ammo was. Magazine, nice and solid. Very pretty picture. Picturesque, as you might say. Not going to leave the magazine in it for storage. That's just not smart, not in my opinion. We never stored them in the military that way. You always store it with your trigger pulled. Always have it fired, which means it will be on fire and not on safe. But you don't want to wear out the spring on your trigger. That brings back memories. Good solid click with the magazine. I don't know if don't know if I like it tucked in like that. Sorry, I've gained weight, and so it's harder to find that pocket in my shoulder now because the pocket's shifted with all my fat. So you have a tendency, and I haven't researched this recently, and I'm trying to remember my training, but there's a tendency to stick your elbow out like this. And that's okay. That's how a lot of people fire. However, when you're in the military and you're in close quarters, this is not always good, because if you're going around corners, walking around walls, you're going to bump stuff. So when you're in close quarters combat, this is what you want, tucked in and tight. Now, for firing positions, it's really up to the position you can best hit your target. But in close quarters, that's how we in the military want. So fire. It's been fired. Lay the sights down just in case. That's a cool feature. So, I didn't mention this. This one here can come off. Simple little Allen wrench. This will come right off. So when I do have the money for an optic for it, again, correct terminology here. For those of you who don't know, I know a lot of people do, but for those of you who don't know, it's not a scope. Okay, scopes, magnify, they're for distance. That's for a sniper rifle. When you're buying an AR, yes, they have some range to them. You can put scopes on them. You shouldn't, though, not really. ARs are not for distance. They're not for long distance engagements. They're for mid distance to close distance. Pistols always best for close range. ARs are good at close range if you know what you're doing. Great at mid distance, at medium range engagements. You know, if they're slightly down the street from you, AR. But that's why I said optic. So for a medium distance engagement, for a mid range engagement, you know, a couple blocks down the street or a block or two down the street, you want a red dot or a holographic. Much better for those type of situations. You don't want to get caught up in a firefight where he's only 100 yards away and you got a scope that's set to 500 yards away. There's no reason for that because it doesn't help. It actually hinders you. So we've got our magazine, got our weapon. We're going to store it for the night, get it put away, and hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned a little bit of something, maybe even if it's just something about me. I like this. I like this type of stuff. My dad always did. I did. You know, I've always wanted to have one. Now I do. And again, this is a tool. I like to joke around and say it's a toy, a new toy. It's not. It is not a toy. Not at all. These are not to be played with. If you're going to use it, it's for practice or for the intended purpose of defense. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope maybe you can. I do want to keep this. Maybe show off what you've got in your collection if you have one, or if you wanted to start one, let me know. I'm hoping that my career will take off to the point and my finances will improve to the point that I can get more gadgets for this one, more rifles to go, and more ammunition to actually go out and enjoy them and practice with them, get used to them again. Because it's been a few years since I fired a rifle. Quite a few years. So definitely do that. If you have any questions, again, this was not sponsored by Springfield. I wish it was, but no, they decided they'd rather do a monetary transaction for this. It's really cool. I like this. This is cool. I might put that on my tactical bag. That's pretty cool. Right now, everything seems different. But let me tell you, the Founding Fathers put that in there for a reason. I've said it before. The Second Amendment exists to protect the First. And that's why it's there. So no matter what happens, I feel more comfortable. I feel safer now that I have this here. I know I've got something to fall back on. Oh, another reason why I chose this one. over some of the other ones, and a lot of people might have said differently. The most popular version of the AR-15, if I remember correctly, based on my research, was the 223 platform, which is the Remington 223 round. Was the design of it, and the 223 is a good round, but it's not the same exact design as the 5.56. 5.56 is the NATO round. 223 is the American civilian round. The 223 is basically a 22 long. It's a rough way of describing it, a 22 caliber long rifle. 22s are very accurate at mid-range. My dad had multiple 22s. He was pinpoint accurate. He literally shot the head off of 8 chickens while they were running with a pump action 22. So 22s, very, very accurate weapons, very reliable weapons. The 5.56, the reason I wanted the 5.56 and not a 223 is because a 5.56 rifle can fire both rounds, both 5.56 and 223. 223 is a lower pressure round, has lower gas pressure, and the way these systems work is when the bullet fires, you squeeze the trigger, fires the round, the gas from the explosion pushes the bolt back, releases the round, and then loads the next round in the chamber, or releases the brass, the empty brass, loads the next round in the chamber. It's a semi-automatic, so it's one pull for one shot. So the gas is what you need. A 223 has less gas pressure, but the 5.56 has more gas pressure. So a 223 round can fire from this rifle, whereas a 5.56 round cannot fire from a 223. It'd do more damage. It would not be effective. And that's why I wanted this, because in a scenario where everything's hit the fan and everything's gone haywire, I don't want to have to worry about which round I'm putting in. I want to be able to fire. In a pinch, a 5.56 can fire the AK-47's rounds of the 7.62. In a pinch, it's not going to do it for very long. It can damage it. M16s can do that. I don't know if this one can, but I know M16s could because we trained on it in the Army. Now, that's an emergency type situation. It's not going to get many rounds off. That's like if you're desperate and you need to get a few rounds off, you can grab one. But I don't know if this one can. Looking at it, not sure it would. But if shit hits the fan, pardon my French, if shit hits the fan, I want a rifle that I know will be there and can use whatever round I can find. 5.56 platform is going to do that better than a 223 platform. You're more limited with a 223 than you are with a 5.56, and that's why I wanted to go here. So that's why I'm making this video. Hopefully it informed you. Hopefully it was just cool looking at a cool new gun. Let me know what you've got or what you're wishing you could get. There's another thing I wanted to look at. Can't do it now. First, don't have time to do it properly. Second of all, don't have the money to spend on something like that that's absolutely just cosmetic and does nothing to improve anything. And that's gun skins. I found this company. I saw an ad on Facebook. They found me. Found an ad on Facebook for gun skins that has these heat shrink. That's right. Shrink wrap skins that you can put on your rifle. Give them really cool colors. Wavering. Which one's my favorite between the American flag one or the current Army camo? What do they call that? The 80, the BDU maybe? No, I don't know what. I don't remember what they're. I don't remember what it's called. I was there with the ACU. That was that terrible square digital pattern. It's horrible. It was one of the worst. But yeah, so they switched from the ACU to this new one. I don't remember what it's called. But yeah, so I'm trying to decide between those two. But even if I decide, I ain't got the money to spend on that. So that's down the road, way down the road. But I've got this. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Check out my son, desperate for some videos. So he and I are starting a channel. That's probably where this is going to go. He and I are going to try and start making videos called David and Daddy. Look for those. We've got a couple of those coming out, some unboxings. I think is what we're going to start with. And he and I are going to work on, he's got a cool new game system that he wants to record some videos on. So we're going to record him playing that with Daddy. And he and I are going to put out some videos. check out my store that my brother-in-law and I started. He and I were in the Army together, so he's got a few of these now. I've got mine to go play with him. But War Eagle Tactical and Outdoor, WarEagleTactical.com. Go out there, check out our merch. Support us. Support your local businesses. That's what we really got to do right now: is support each other, help each other out. So if you like us, if you just want to support some veterans who are trying to start their own company, trying to be their own boss, make their own way, help us out. Check us out. Check out our mission. Thank you, and God bless.